Sasquatch, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spearfinger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil Dog, Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, a Lizard Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape. What else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snarly Gastro Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven Mocker, Midnight Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry, Wolfman or Wolf County, need to find the X again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Webster's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
This here's BIGFEETS, the only Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I'm Robert Brockway, and I'm sorry, I'm a little winded. I just got done fighting a bunch of pigs.
And I'm Sean, baby. Midnight. Chandler Boulevard in North Hollywood. A woman wrestles with a man on the sidewalk as she cries out for help. Gary, who has just finished packing his red GT Mustang, rushes across the street to her aid. From the curbside, tires suddenly squeal in a stench of burned rubber. Even Gary is no match for the car that flings him into the air.
Fuck yes.
And I am New York Times bestselling author Jason Pargin.
Gary got roundhouse kicked by a car. My favorite thing that happens in kung fu movies, and also doesn't happen in reality. Like nobody drifts a car into a man and then it kicks him like it's a roundhouse.
You don't use car style kung fu? I love car style kung fu.
I would absolutely. If I was in the movie, I would be the guy bringing a car to a kung fu fight, like in Bangkok Knockout. That's my style. I'd love that. It's the least realistic part of any kung fu movie. And he's like, yeah, that happened to me. I'm a real spy.
My buddy Gary died that way.
Ripped a man's heart out with my bare hands. All right, this isn't a Frank Dukes podcast. It
should be. It could be.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be one of these days. We're slowly easing into it. We're testing the waters. We're seeing how sued we can get. 0 so far, which is astonishing. We are a Mountain Monsters Watch Along podcast. Before we get to that, where can we find more from you, Jason?
I just wrote a column for your site. I don't remember what it was called, and I don't know if it was a hit at all, but it was about Andrew Tate and a 23-second long promotional video he posted, and I wrote like 2,500 words on that. It was like 100 words per second of video.
Yeah, I can pull up the metrics here. I liked it.
I don't know how to do analytics. Anal?
We legitimately have no idea how to do that or why we would. I've never even tried.
I also liked it. It was.
I think Patreon has like that function in the dashboard. I've literally never opened it. I wouldn't know how to tell you what our traffic is. People seem to like it. The end. That's what we do. Sean, you got anything you want to plug?
Jason just plugged it. 1-900 Hot Dog, featuring funny articles by people like Jason Pargin.
And where can they support us for that?
Patreon.com/1-900 Hot Dog.
Wow, shit, what a good plug. I also have a plug. I'd like to plug my new book. I've been doing a bit where I refuse to promote it unless I legally have to. In my contract, there's a part that says I have to promote, in a certain window between before when the book releases and after when the book releases. And we are now in that window. I've been saying this whole time, like, ha ha ha, it's all in fun. Until we get that window, I'm not going to promote it. And we had a few laughs. Let's have a few more. Still not promoting it. Still not promoting that book. What's it called? When's it coming out? Mind your business, pervert. What's wrong with you? A witch once told me, the day I get sued, it's not today. We're a Mountain Monsters Watch Along podcast. Mountain Monsters. I still don't know what this show is anymore. I always have to like look up this little part in my notes to be like, here's where you explain the show, and that gets fucking harder every single episode. Used to be real easy. They used to be hunting Bigfoot. Now Bigfoot, if he shows up at all, is a minor inconvenience at best. It's like a bee in the car. They're just like, get out of here, Bigfoot.
I'm sorry. Are we going to go right into talking about this episode and ignore what's happening in the world?
No, I'm just introducing the concept of the show. We can get into what's happening in the world by all means. Most of my notes are about the updates of what's happening. I don't know what to tell you about what this show is. It started as a Bigfoot show. It's doing something else now. I know what the show's going to be. And that's a fucking hilarious mess. Incredible news. I've talked about it before. Like the show's been Mountain Monsters has been canceled. There will be no season 9, even though they were so sure. There has been an apparent rift in the team where Buck, Huckleberry, and Wild Bill want to be a team, and Jeff and Willie want to be a separate team, and they're like not talking to each other. There's some sort of pissy drama behind the scenes. Maybe literally, Jeff's involved. It's now official. One of those shows is going to happen. We've been saying, like, my God, what if we get 2 competing shows? One of them's going to happen. It's official now. It's I guess sort of a spin-off, but it's like a direct continuation of Mountain Monsters. It's just now going to be called Sons of Appalachia. It's going to be on YouTube under the channel's under the same name. Go there, subscribe right fucking now. Do it if you want this to exist, and you have to do it.
I went to their
website.
Yeah, I was just about
the
to talk about that.
website's URL is the soateam.com.
Sons of Anarchy.
Because if you just search. If you search Sons of Appalachia on YouTube, you get a band and some other stuff. It could be. It's extremely important to all of us that you find it, that you mail them some money if they ask for it.
It's not available yet.
Extremely important that this show come off. Now, it is true right now on the video as of this recording on their YouTube channel, they've posted the theme song with a video that might. It's not AI. I think
It's parts of it are AI.
They use stock video from a free stock video service, and then there's an extremely grainy video of Buck that he recorded in his car, I think
on
with a
cam.
Nintendo DS, announcing that the show was coming back. And then he had said in the comments that no, this is Mountain Monsters. They don't have a right to that IP, obviously. Warner owns it, but he's like, we're going to continue the same investigation, same show, same everything. And then Jeff, in his own Facebook comments, has made a comment like, well, if they're man enough to come to me, maybe we could work something out. These were, if we were grown-ups. And then Willie on his Facebook was like, hey guys, if you need a trap built, you know where to find me.
I think Willie's is sadder. It's a fierce competition. It's a real fierce competition.
Yeah. Well, I've got something even sadder than that, because the West Virginia Bigfoot Festival is coming up. And Jeff and Willie are going to be there. They've announced on their social medias. Huckleberry will also be there separately.
Oh, no.
They are not appearing together. It's going to be Jeff and Willie, because he actually said, because he's got the flyer from the programs, like, yeah, Jeff, meet me and Willie. We're going to be there, doing a Q&A or whatever they do at these things. And then down, you see on the list among the other people there, Huckleberry from Mountain Monsters. Separately. They will not be speaking to one another. They will both be at the event. They will not be, and it's very messy. So like if you go to, I know it sounds like we're all stalking these guys on social media.
Yeah.
That's because we are. If you go to Jeff's Facebook, he has videos where it's him and Willie out doing their investigating the Grafton monster on just the budget of one of them holding their phone and pointing it at the other one. So they are trying to launch their own thing.
So
it's happening.
Man, the
We're going to
website's
get
not
messy
done.
rival shows.
There's a PayPal donation button that's not available yet. And that brought up the question of how, if they do get that working, if they get the PayPal donation button working, how much money would it take to ruin their show? I think is a really important question. Because I think if you handed these guys $10 million, the show does not get better.
No, absolutely not. I think it's $1,000. I think
$1,000. Yeah,
that's enough.
That's a good. I wanted to email them congratulations, but their email said it is not for fans. It is for serious media inquiries, and I would imagine like monster emergencies. So if you were being attacked by a Hogzilla, you could email them, but not to say, great job almost catching Hogzilla last time.
Now, I am about 35% sure that this rift in the team is still just a work. Because what I think is going to happen is that on the new show on YouTube, The Sons of Appalachia, that Buck and Wild Bill and Huckleberry, they're going to be facing down whatever, the grass man again, and they're going to be cornered, and it's going to look hopeless, and then who's going to come up behind him? That's right, it's Jeff and Willie, a 4-year-long pincer movement. The ultimate, they pincered the whole world. They made us all forget that they had split up.
You thinking like a New York Times best-selling author. I think it'll be something closer to like, there's something in that barn. We got to open that barn and see who it is. And then they'll cut to commercial, and when they come back, we'll recap that they're outside a barn. And then they'll open the barn door, and then it'll be Jeff.
Jeff I think that's Willie how... with Jeff looking up at the camera like, oh,
right.
What?
And they'll lay out some mystery that they'll forget about. I think that's probably how they'll do it.
It just now occurred to me that since this show is now on YouTube and their show is going to be on YouTube, that the way the recommendation algorithm works, that if they have not discovered BIGFEETS yet, they are going to.
Oh, yeah.
If they do, somebody clip this part that I'm about to say. All of our jokes and insults have been aimed at the fictional characters you play in the show Mountain Monsters. We do not actually, we are not accusing Wild Bill of having done illegal drugs in his life, or of Jeff of having a pee fetish, or of Buck of falling down in bodies of water that are only inches deep. We realize this is a performance. All of our mockery is toward the fictional characters you play. We have nothing but respect for you as real people.
It's all towards
Jason,
your performances, yes.
I want to disagree with you on one point. Jeff, I know you're a pee-pee boy. Jeff, I know in real life, it's all a sexual pee-pee thing. Okay.
I realized that hundreds of times in this podcast, we have said, to be clear, we are talking about the real people playing these parts. That also was just a joke. Okay.
Just got to disagree with one last thing. Absolutely dead serious. I know you pee-pee, Jeff.
I'm pretty sure Wild Bill ate all those cryptids. I think that was... that was real. I think he ate Mothman's ass. I think that happened.
If there was an asteroid heading to Earth that was going to be an extinction level event, and the scientists, the government came to us and said, hey, we have a spaceship taking all of the most important people off the planet. We have enough seats left either for you and your families or the Ames team. We would happily give up our seats for the Ames team. Said, no, when you get to the new planet and start civilization over again, that's who you want with you.
Yep. They have ham in their pockets. They're turboed up on Mothman ass meat.
I'm only giving my spot up for Hogzilla. I'll be real. Like, I mean, Hogzilla has to keep existing. Like, he's responsible for all the magic in the world with his crude, usable little hands. God, we really are living in the prime timeline. We're getting it all. We're getting it all, baby. We're getting the messy drama. We're getting 2 fucking shows, almost certainly.
It's both with zero budget.
Yeah, and no supervision. Like the producers, the whole production team, the TV channel.
The minimal amount of competence that Colt Straub brought to these operations. They've severed ties with him, as far as I can tell.
It's all going to be filmed on cell phones. It's the more than I could have ever asked for. But that's for the future. I'm going to download every single episode because it's not going to exist for very long. But for right now... I never
thought I wanted to be a YouTube drama guy, like the kind of person that recaps the drama between like phony YouTube rivalries. But I really look forward to that. I think that will be so fun in this situation. That's
absolutely going to be the bulk of our episodes. So that means this show is going to run forever. Like, even if they only do like 2-3 seasons of these YouTube shows with like their drama in between them, we've got 100 seasons. We got 100 seasons of BIGFEETS in there. But right now we're still watching the actual Mountain Monsters. This is season 3, episode 7, The Three Rings of the North. That's according to the HBO Max order, which is rapidly disappearing still. I don't know. Somebody said it was on Zumo the other day. I'm 100% sure they made that up. Like, that was just fucking with me. That doesn't exist. Wherever you can find it, look for the name. Look for Three Rings of the North.
Three Rings of the North is so funny when you imagine it's not like some distant land up in the frigid tundra. It's just like 4 minutes north. It's just like
it's their high fantasy setting. It's meant to evoke an epic quest, and that epic quest happens to be, I don't know, a quarter mile away from camp. It's a continuation of the Dark Forest story. All right, if you're just joining us, Mountain Monsters, the show that can't keep track of what they're doing within a single commercial break, is doing a whole season-long story arc. Not only that, they're doing a Hillbilly Departed, they're doing a folklore thing, they're doing a Jigsaw thing, they're doing a little bit of Zelda. Huckleberry decided last episode, we're doing the Predator from Predator.
Fuck yeah.
Still, and I don't think the rest of the team knew about it at the time.
That was in like they left him alone for an hour, and when they came back, he's like, guys, we're doing Predator now.
They had to just be like, you slept in. We tried to wake you up. You can't do a Predator revenge story on us.
He was already covered in Predator blood.
Yeah, so to recap, just very, very quickly, because again, this is so hard to do now because these are not contained episodes. These are cliffhangers. Like, these are cutting to black on a cliffhanger and then resuming. So we're trying to catch you up. Okay, in 30 seconds, they are trapped in the dark forest. No, I take that back. They're not trapped at all. They can come and go as they please.
They come and go.
They are in the dark forest with 1, a rival team of Bigfoot hunters, 2, a magical little girl, 3, the woman of the woods, who's an immortal witch, who is not the little girl. We're going to find out later. These are 2 separate beings. A shape-shifting Sasquatch called the Ravenmocker that can assume any form, including that of a woman or a little girl. The Black Wolf, which is an immortal being that escorts Native Americans to the afterlife. Mm-hmm. And 6, the Predator from the hit film Predator. In this 1 quarter square mile patch of woods in Lee County, Virginia.
And I think we said this is episode 7. These are what, like 10 episode seasons? So just a couple episodes left to wrap up all those plot lines.
Yeah, there's 2. There's 2 after this one. But
don't worry.
They're going to get to it. These things are paced it's lightning fast. So the last one ended with, again, as Brockway says, Jeff is doing the plot of the hit film The Departed. And at one point we heard a gunshot and they found Jeff dazed saying they shot him, but they could not find out who they shot. They asked him 6 times and he wouldn't say. For some reason he couldn't say. And they found Huckleberry covered in blood due to his knife fight with the Predator from the hit film Predator. And then they cut to black, and that was our cliffhanger.
I think Buck summed it up pretty well. He said, Jeff's bleeding, not making much sense. Huckleberry's missing, and I don't even know what happened to me. So, I mean, that sums it up pretty well, too.
Yeah, that's your 30-second clip. I think for me, Willie gets the quote of the episode first thing when he says, Huckleberry looks like he just got done fighting a bunch of pigs. That's my benchmark for when you're really bloody and you're upset. You've been outside fighting pigs.
Is that not also taken from the film Predator?
You're right. It's a direct.
You kill the pig. He attacks with a knife, and remember. Because, by the way, in the sizzle reel, the announcer coyly says that Huckleberry encounters a predator.
A predator.
They know from very much what they're doing.
From the movie Predator.
When they're debriefing Huckleberry, the first thing that happens in this episode, he's describing to them like, well, it has the outline of a large man.
Right. The Ravenmocker.
You can see through it.
Like the Black Wolf?
And nobody asks him to clarify. So it sounds like a ghost, or it's like no, because it's this creature that has been in 9 films and 10 video games and several comic lines and
So the idea of 5 white men in their 50s and 60s not having seen a single Predator movie, it's as absurd as all of them being fucking Indians. Like,
it gets to the point where he looks like he's frustrated that they're not going, oh, it's the Predator. Like, he's like,
right.
It bleeds green. It kills for honor. It's got that sweet net thing that like tightens and then all your flesh squeezes out of.
Bill Paxton's in it. You guys know this.
Twister? That didn't happen in Twister. There was a net in Twister. Yep. Now we're fighting Twister from the movie Twister. Everybody, welcome to the woods. That's in there.
It's a swirl, like a shape, kind of like an oval. A stack of them in the air, carrying a cow. Not, you know.
Jeff tries to steal back the narrative by like, remember me, remember what I'm going through. I'm the source of the story, and they finally like ask him, so what did happen? Right? We've been standing around here worried about the predator. We should have been asking you, who shot who? You were saying last episode, and finally he answers, they shot the black wolf. What a twist!
I'm so frustrated at this because Huckleberry's already talking about fortifying the cabin against the predator. I'm like, yes, this is the direction to go. And then Jeff, to get the attention back on him, like pretends to faint because they shot the black wolf. Like, oh Lord,
what
got the vapors from the wolf shooting?
But you're trying to shoot the black wolf,
right?
Like,
That's
and. So, like, I could not tell at this stage, were they trying to get the black wolf out of the story? Because somebody did say before they turned the cameras on, we've got too many monsters.
I think they're trying to get them all
they
out.
shot the black wolf, the immoral black wolf, the one that was the harbinger of Jeff's death, because as being full-blooded Shawnee, we're not, guys, if this is your first episode, we're not making any of this up. We're referencing what was discussed in previous episodes. Half the reason they came here was because the black wolf was going to escort Jeff to the afterlife, and that meant that he was doomed for death, and they had to catch the black wolf to keep it from doing that. So if they've decided, they say, well, yeah, they shot him. I don't know if this is their way of getting him out of the story, or if he just improvised that on the spot.
They sure don't mention him again for a while.
But they do mention him again.
Not in this episode.
Yeah.
So Huckleberry says, this is all too dangerous. We need to get out of the dark forest. We can't stay here tonight. And then they look over at Willie's terrible broken down cabin, like the half cabin he built. They have not stayed here since he built. They demanded he build them a base camp, and he built them this terrible, terrible cabin. And then they've all, Jeff especially, gone and stayed in like bed and breakfasts nearby, and they keep finding excuses. No, this is too. We can't stay here tonight. Much as I'd love to sleep near the shithole, Willie, I think I'm gonna go back to my Airbnb.
I love this more than I can express, because the whole thing is Huckleberry has tried to set up, hey, we are in the plot of the film Predator. This thing is hunting us. It can cloak itself. It could be anywhere. It's picking us off one by one. So, yeah, it's too scary. Tonight, let's just leave and go stay at the hotel, and then we'll come back in the morning. It would be like if in the film Predator, the famous scene at the end where they're all rushing toward the helicopter, and Arnold says the famous phrase, "Go get on the helicopter, everybody." This
Beautiful
would be like
impression, by the way.
And his classic accent, go get on the helicopter.
This would be like if every night in that film they got in the helicopter and then went to the city and stayed in a hotel for that night, and then the next day they got up, ate some breakfast, and then flew back to resume the hunt with the predator.
The predator's just back there being like, I don't get time off. I'm on the clock 24/7, guys. Come on.
What I wrote down in my notes is that here's Jeff just kind of catatonic from his emotions, and he just wanders off into the woods by himself, and they run off to talk to him about his feelings. I wrote, I think this is the opposite of fortifying your base against the predator. Just like the...
It's as far away as you can get. So it's the next day, and Buck is in his truck, and he's saying, I'm feeling a little lost. And he's really putting on the acting chops. A little lost, a little confused, and times like this, when I feel this way, there's only one person I can turn to, and that's Jeff. I'm talking about Jeff, of course. And then, for my money, one of the funniest shots is then the camera turns to see Jeff standing by the edge of the road in the woods, next to absolutely nothing. Absolutely not
That's
base
how you
camp,
summon
not
Jeff.
a pull-off. He's just been standing there all night.
If you said you
Just
needed
waiting.
Jeff right now and looked out the window, he would be there.
I think he's slowly turning into an NPC. I think he's losing so much agency through these plot lines that he's going to be
devoted to witness.
Yeah. He's just gonna grow roots there, and he's gonna repeat 2 phrases to them. So as for what it was that rattled Buck so bad, he says, I got lost. That's not a good feeling. Because I've never been lost in my life.
God damn it.
Any cornfield. Pick a single cornfield. Like, perhaps...
I wrote that down, too. That, like, we spent an hour watching him get lost last episode, and again, anytime they go into corn, that's, like, the plot of that episode, is that Buck is lost in the corn. Like, it's shorthand for these guys are lost, is if they show Buck next to corn. That's their way of telling us that I have no fucking idea where they are.
At one point, Buck dropped his radio and would not go try to find it, even though that let it fall into the hands of the evil poachers. Because he was too lost in the corn to go looking for his radio.
He didn't want to go he didn't want to go back and risk getting lost in the corn again because he was sure that would happen. This is like, you might be one of the most documented people getting lost in human history. Like, most of the show is about that. It's incredible that you have the audacity to say that. And he's saying it like it's really crazy the way he's playing it, because he's playing it like it's a source of deep personal shame and trauma that he got lost. Like, he's just weeping and breaking down, really filling out that acting reel. He says, time stopped, and then I heard my phone ringing, and time started back up. And sometimes you had a point in your life, and everyone's been there, where you feel like you don't exist, and no one cares about you. And last night, I got to a point where I didn't exist anymore. I basically just disappeared off the face of the earth. Because of a witch's curse is the end of this
self-pity witch, I guess. At the risk of complimenting Buck, he has 2 jobs and 5 best friends, a TV show, and he weighs 500 pounds. I think he exists like a lot. And I hope he can take that with him and carry that in his heart next time a witch.
And if you're listening,
I really don't know what the witch did.
Buck, if you're listening to this, he's talking about the character you play.
Right.
Just purely the character. The performance it's a very large performance, is all he's saying. Jeff reminds him that his own phone broke the witch's curse, just like Buck's did. So she's weak to cell phones?
She's weak to phones.
Yes.
Yeah.
For all of the hundreds of years that she's been around, or thousands of years, she was waiting for this technology to come along, or is enraged that this technology has come along because it breaks her magic somehow. But then Jeff, I think, reasonably asks, well, after the witch stole your phone and then mind controlled you for 2 hours, and then you woke up to the sound of your phone ringing, did you check the phone? And Buck says, no.
No, absolutely not.
That's why Jeff's the researcher. And Buck's
That's right.
The caller?
So Buck's still doing verklempt. He grabs his phone and he gasps and he put his hands to his mouth, and then the camera tries to move in on him and he goes, no, this is too emotional a moment. And then he throws his phone in the truck and says, I have to go. What do you think he's looking at on that phone in that moment?
I mean, I knew it was going to be some stupid Blair Witch bullshit, but I also knew it would never pay off. I just wrote down in my notes, like, this is never going to pay off.
I make too many jokes about pedophilia, and it's not. I realize it's distasteful because there's this weird thing, listeners. If you don't know the context, Buck insists on having little girls be like magical little girls be the villains in his story, and no one else on the team likes it. It's always a Buck thing, and I realize it's probably just like from The Ring, like the little girl with the black hair. He's like, that's creepy. It's a little girl standing in the middle of the woods. But it leads to a lot of phrasing that's unfortunate. This next episode is made up entirely of that. So when he says, I was mind controlled by a little girl, and then did you check your phone? And he checks his phone, covers his mouth in disgust, and then throws the phone in disgust. And they say, well, can we see what's on it? He's like, no.
Yeah,
look,
I got True Detective vibes from it.
I'm from a family of people who are in law enforcement. I think in terms of everybody is a criminal, everybody is some sort of a deviant. That's just, you get a worldview of the world is full of deviants. So my mind goes there. I'm not accusing these guys of anything like that. It's just, it's funny that they accidentally phrase things. So as far as what he saw on the phone, just creepy witch stuff. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that went through my mind that whole time.
I think he saw the title card for the next episode of Mountain Monsters. So he gets in his truck and takes off. And Jeff points out, like, we're repeating my whole bit. Like, what you're doing right now is exactly everything I did. Only you yelled at me for doing that because you said it was a stupid thing to do. And Buck's like, yeah, but now I understand. Now I know why it is you're a little bitch. Like, I get that, and now I'm a little bitch, too.
To that point, I don't think Jeff is a little bitch anymore. I feel like he's feeding off of Buck's tears, and he's no longer, like, fainting. He's no longer bleeding out of his nose. He's no longer crying. It's like he's completely reinvigorated. This is what he feeds on. Pee-pee and the suffering of Buck.
All just fluids. He likes them fluids. Doesn't matter what. So production, like, Buck drives off, production races to follow him. They all run to their golf carts, and they're like, oh, shit, it's a car chase. Ooh, it's on for about 5 feet?
Buck immediately pulls over.
He immediately pulls over. Like, we cue up the chase music. We're doing Jason Bourne shaky cam in the golf carts, chasing him through the forest, and then they literally have to brake unexpectedly because he stopped way too soon.
I don't know if you saw this in the middle of this. There's like this very brief little comedy jump scare where they're pulling away and they show a shot of Jeff, and then they pan a little to the right and there's a cameraman like right in his face, like just filming from 6 inches away in his face, and him just like trying to look all stupid. It made me laugh so hard. And it's just this brief moment of perfect comedy. This show.
I love when they break the fourth wall. It's always funny. So speaking of, they're still doing it. Buck he stops. He just parks his truck and then sits there looking sad because he didn't want to walk the 20 feet to look sad over there. So that's why he took his truck. They misunderstood and thought it was a car chase and then had to abort the whole sequence.
Yeah, he was just driving to a pout.
Yeah, I just wanted to go over there and pout, but I'm not going to walk. Colt comes up to the truck and tells Buck, I'm not looking to push you or anything, but I am trying to make a fucking TV show. You can't just start a car chase and then pull over at the end of the driveway. No, he says he's worried about Buck and he wants to know what's on that phone. Buck, of course, can't show him. Buck says, no one needs to see it right now. No one needs to see what's on that phone. We come back at night. And Colt is worried because Buck disappeared last time and it freaked Liam, the cameraman, out. So we get another named character, the production team, which is very important to me. We got Pablo, Zach, Liam. Do we have anyone else? I mean, Colt, of course.
Obviously.
But
in terms of named crew members, but they're going to get rid of Liam. Liam quits the show over this.
Does he quit? I'm going to miss him.
It comes up in the next episode.
I'm going to miss him. We're watching this live. How would I know that? I haven't watched these before. Buck says, no, this is private, what I'm doing. Nobody can see the video. I have to do this alone. So, as I do this alone, can I have the camera?
It's got to just be me and the viewers.
Only the viewers. Only the audience can come with me on this one. It's too private. God, it's incredible that they say these things like, that's literally the end of your sentence. You didn't look back. You didn't look like back on the start of your sentence to see where this was going. So he's going back out to the woods to where he found his phone, which I thought was just out there in the dead center of like the lost woods where direction has no meaning. But he finds it immediately, as though it was 20 feet away from where he was standing the whole time, which is, again, a very funny thing to do. Just a random tree in the forest. It's not a big creepy tree. It's just a tree. And he's like, that's it. That's the tree. Never been lost.
Very, very much are going to portray the dark forest as being smaller than the city park.
Yeah, the way
in the large city that I'm in where I walk my dog. It is It is tiny. Everything is a few minutes away by golf cart.
Right, like this is, I know it's filler in movies, but when they like show a character walking off the screen, then they'll show, I don't know, stock footage of a different view of the woods or something, or them walking a little bit. And if they're trying to portray distance, they have Buck walk off the screen and then the next shot walk in from the same direction and stare at the tree. And it's like, so he just went 10 feet. Like, it's all like right outside camp. Everything that happens is right outside camp. And I'm pretty sure it is, but you can make it look like it's not.
Sure. This was frustrating because he says, whoever put that video wanted me to be scared, but I'm not afraid of nothing. And this frustrated me in the same way it frustrated me when he said he never get lost. Because last episode we watched him, he was terrified. He was too terrified to point his weapon at a sneeze. At like a sneeze in the woods, he's like, oh, he almost dropped his rifle.
Spoiler, a few, like 1 minute from now, he's going to hear or see a little girl and is going to screech and fling himself backward.
So let's just get right to that. He sees the little girl out there and he screams in terror. She's not doing anything. I mean, it's a decently creepy shot of just the standard horror shot of circling around to nothing, and then unexpectedly there's somebody standing there, and then you jerk the camera away real quick, like, I can't bear to look. It's fine. It's a fine shot. But then he screams in terror. It's not a big manly scream like, "Rah, I'm mad that you're here." It's 1 minute away from when he says, "I've never been scared."
It pisses me. His cowardice is like central to a lot of their plot lines. It's probably 20% of why they've never caught a Bigfoot.
Anyway, but this is why he came out here. He came out to these woods to get answers. So you know what time it is. It's time to get the fuck out of here.
To get out to evacuate. Because that's my favorite part of him saying, I'm not scared of nothing. Because in this story arc, for whatever reason, they have established this rhythm of go out into the woods with the intention of finding whatever. We need to find out what's going on here. The second they see a twig wicker person or hear a noise or anything, is like, get out, done, done. Nope, too scary. It's as if this is a tornado warning in a picnic and not the thing you came out there to do.
Why else did you come out here if not to, like, find the little girl? And you're like, nope, gotta get the fuck out of here.
Did you catch Buck's motivator where he says, I refuse to be in the same position as Jeff? Like, that's what's, like, driving him right now.
I had that as my quote of the episode.
Sorry to take that.
No, it's all right. It's like I have to pursue this. I refuse to be in the same position as Jeff.
He's alone right now because no one wants to go to the dark forest with him. Like, Liam's like, I'm not going out there with you. He feels like he's nothing. He has no control over his emotions. He also weighs 500 pounds. The only thing he really has left to cling to is that he's not fucking Jeff.
At least I'm not Jeff.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jeff is overdoing The Departed in a criminal organization of Bigfoot hunters who apparently will kill him the second they find out he's double-crossing them.
Yeah, he's really got like a tough guy turn that I'm looking forward to see develop as we finish watching this episode. Live right now as I talk to you. I'm really excited about his new tough guy arc. So the next day, because they got the fuck out of there. The next day, Trapper drives up
back
to
the
ask,
hotel. Went and swam. It had some room service.
And then Trapper drives up to go like, why the hell aren't we in the dark forest? Because they're not meeting in the dark forest. He's like, I thought we were doing the dark forest arc. Right. And they basically all tell him, we're too scared. Daddy, we got too scared of all the things we made up. We were playing monsters. And then we thought we heard a monster. So we're not going back in there. They tell him Huckleberry is playing Predator, which Trapper does not take well.
Well, first of all, and this is, I will admit, I did not react well to this moment. I brought this into the company Slack, probably inappropriately. But Huckleberry, when explaining to Trapper, it's like, well, this creature, can turn invisible. But I know that it bleeds because I drew blood from it.
That killer line.
If it bleeds, we can trap it. It's like
that makes sense.
I can just imagine Trapper off screen, like, we sure we can Are we sure we can do the Predator from the hit film Predator? Like, you're doing every beat. Are we sure? Did you clear this with whatever company owns us now?
Trapper leans in to give him the strong handshake of support, and like a huge black muscled arm just reaches off the screen and grabs his hand. I can't believe he did if it bleeds, I know it bleeds because I drew blood on it. Yeah, that's the line. That's the iconic line everybody remembers.
Incredible.
The balls on these guys. It's amazing.
I can't believe they just in the middle of this did the Predator from the movie. They did Alien. They got to get them all in there. So they're going to fight the Terminator at one point. You know they have to. Yeah. They have to do it. So they finally ask Jeff what happened the other night. He says he was called in for backup, which, I mean, my God, imagine how dire that emergency is where you call Jeff in for backup. He says he heard gunshots, and he assumed they shot the Black Wolf. What?
Holy shit.
You assumed? You didn't even... You passed out from terror?
Days later.
All of that. And the thing that completely traumatized you to the point where you can't speak anymore is you heard some gunshots in the distance and assumed somebody might have shot at the Black Wolf. That was your trauma for like why you can't answer questions.
He went catatonic from that. Trapper
even reiterates, you didn't actually see anything, you just heard shots. Like, that's nothing, Jeff. But Jeff does have a secret. Tough guy Jeff, in the middle of his departed turn, he does have a secret. And he says, I haven't been square with you. I'm not up there as high as you think I am. They give me a couple of guys to run a line, and they're low level, and I'm so low level, I don't even exist. This is not me doing a bit. This is what he says. I really just wanted you guys to think I'm more important than what I am. Oh, Jeff, don't worry, buddy. We never thought that for 1 second. Yeah, man. Not even for a second.
To be clear, Jeff was not infiltrating the mafia or Al-Qaeda. He was infiltrating a group of dudes who were hired by a local farmer to see if there were any monsters in their woods. This is the organization that Jeff got in with by staging a rebellion staging a rift with the Ames team, saying, hey, I've broken off with those guys, you can, I'm going to bring my expertise to your project. And then now confesses that, again, he was not an employee. They were not paying him, right? Like, Jeff was not on their payroll. These are guys just on the weekend, a pack of dudes in golf carts, just looking around for whatever, Black Wolf, Woman of the Woods. And Jeff could not climb the ladder in that organization.
They already had a Wikipedia guy. They already had a pee-pee boy.
He had to level with them that he's even more pathetic than they... We're making all of this up. You could make up something less pathetic if this was not a humiliation fetish, like which it clearly must be.
100%.
Like just imagine...
Jeff the person, not the character.
If this editor had any balls, immediately after he finished talking, they would cut back to that scene with Jeff doing the Batman stance on the rafters going, well. Who's crazy now? Who's the crazy one?
Okay, have you been keeping track of how many days have passed in the Dark Forest? Because we've had several day-night cycles. Do you have any sense of how long Jeff has been in with that other team?
I get the sense, like, maybe a week in fiction?
That's what I would have estimated, a week. And because Trapper, again, this is all improv, and Trapper says, well, everything you know about these sons of bitches, what they're doing in the Dark Forest, you're supposed to be relaying it to us. It really felt like, outside of the improv, he was saying, we should have something by now. Because in the fiction that we've made up, you've been embedded with them for a week. You've spent like 100 hours with these guys, watching them work, talking to them, going out, doing work for them. Like they send him out to do stuff. Like, you need to bring something to our improv session. We need to be developing this. You're supposed to be undercover. You're undercover to learn who they are and why they're here. And then so it felt like he improvised Well, I'm actually not as high up as I was implying. I just wanted you guys to think I was cool, which is the saddest possible place. This meta narrative of being backed into the improv to where you're supposed to create a fictional version of yourself that's like the saddest PP boy in the world.
He could have got kicked out for having too much sex with everyone's babes. Oh, they're like, you have to go, Jeff.
I actually found out who their boss is. You're not going to believe this. It's the Predator from the movie Predator.
Yeah, we're already doing that, Jeff. Yeah, I know. I suck. But this is the only way I can get my boner to work. It's the shame.
Just incredible. Like, he does not need to shame himself like this. This is getting gross. So Trapper
I
demands
just didn't
that
think
Jeff...
there was like this level. I mean, these are guys who write fan fiction where they lose fights to hand pigs, and then they find out in that fan fiction that they were just regular pigs. So I guess to go down from there, you had to do something really special. I don't know. I almost felt bad for Jeff, the character, and the person. Like, this is as close as I've come to like really worrying about a person.
It was
on this
really
show.
pathetic.
Yeah.
Even more pathetic, Trapper has to order him to go back and make friends for real this time.
Yeah,
it's like, you gotta go back and like
forest janitor job back.
Really try to get in good with these guys. I know we're making them up, but Jesus Christ, Jeff.
The exact phrasing was, Trapper, you've got to get your ass in there. Huckleberry, you've got to dig deep. It's all just cop phrasing. It's
just cop talk, baby.
That's police jargon, yeah.
You just gotta moisten the tips of their penises, Jeff.
We're just jargon together.
Cop talk.
They call it a jargon off when one person,
You've got to reach around for the information. All right, I'm sorry. Now it's
tug it. You got to tug it straight at it.
When you think about it,
We're
there's like
referencing
all
the
these
fictional characters you're playing.
Okay, so Willie, Huckleberry, and Wild Bill decide they need to secure base camp, and I'm thinking like, okay, we're doing Predator. They're going to be doing Predator traps. They're going to be putting the giant fucking spiked log up in the tree. They're going to be digging tiger pits. No. What they do is...
Here I am. Come kiss me. Come hug and tug on me.
Like, you stole it, but that kicks ass. I did that when I was a kid. I did that when I was fucking 11. I went and put, like, crude traps in my yard and pretended I was in Predator. Of course. Yeah. It's weird that you're doing it at 60, but, you do you. But no, they think, okay, we need defenses against the Predator from the movie Predator, the ultimate hunter who can turn invisible. And they think electric fence. Electric fence, to which Wild Bill says, "Electric, huh? Oh yeah, we gonna electrify this critter's ass."
Referred to the Predator from the hit film Predator as a critter.
The critter. This is gonna sound stupid, but I thought for certain this meant something more than an electric fence. When they said electric's the answer to the Predator, I'm like, okay, they're gonna like build some sort of a canopy out of electricity.
Lightning gun,
a Tesla coil, right? When I saw them build like a fucking like goat rancher's electric fence, it was like a jump scare for me. I could not believe it.
The Predator from the hit film Predator does not stay on the ground.
No,
right? It jumps down from the trees in all of the most famous scenes. It actually doesn't stay at ground level hardly ever. But also, yes, I have to say this again. The last time they were here in the Dark Forest, they abandoned their trap because they realized they would have to rely on a magic ritual because the threat was not something that could be trapped, right? Remember, they dressed up in those costumes because the ritual was like, you have to sacrifice any future career in politics to appease the witch or whatever. Like, they acknowledge that the things in this woods cannot be caught by a box or a fence. So I get this electric fence is to protect against the Predator from the hit film Predator, but they have also established they are in the woods with the same witch that last time they had to have magic to fight, in addition to the woman of the woods and the little girl and the black wolf if it didn't die as Jeff. So there's no reason to not have, okay, we've got an electric fence to protect against the Predator from the hit film Predator, but also we've got this Shawnee amulet of binding.
Sure. We got the car battery from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
The supernatural threats, because they've built a fence against one of the 9 threats in the woods with them. Like, even within their fiction, doesn't it make it scarier to say, look, guys, we've got this fence, but there's also stuff in here that doesn't care about fences. So what are we going to do to protect against that? And then Jeff, the researcher, could say, well, there's this potion of whatever that the medicine man showed me. He had it tattooed on his nipple when he lifted up his...
One of them...
He's been breastfeeding for 7 days to get this intel.
Anyway, I know it's
Jeff the
pointless for me to
character
keep beating that dead horse.
It's incredible. So Huckleberry's out checking the perimeter while Willie builds a fence, and he screams so that they can do the predator scene. Somebody screams off in the jungle, and then you have to go run out there. They come running, and they find Huckleberry, who says, "It came back." And he knows it came back because there's fresh blood on the trees. And the only thing bleeding in these woods is whatever he wrestled with the other night. The only thing that can bleed in the woods?
Jeff has been bleeding from his face for a whole week.
Amongst everything else. Any one of those
4
guys, all
rogue
of the other
teams.
creatures.
There's a black wolf. Yes, we could go through the list again. There's a lot going on in these woods. All of these things are filled with blood.
Also, prior to him screaming, when he's out there by himself and trying to narrate for the camera, says, I didn't want to say nothing around the guys, but this creature's got me really concerned. Why wouldn't you say something? You are Bigfoot security. The only thing they need you for is to tell them the threats. This is like Jeff saying, well, I didn't want to bring this up around the guys, but this county is actually named after William Henry Lee. Like, no, that's your job. That's why you're here.
My favorite thing about this scene, all right, so they're doing the trap scene from Predator. How does the trap scene from Predator end? They catch a boar. It turns out a boar triggers all of their traps because they're still in the middle of the fucking jungle. The first thing Shane Black thought of when he wrote the script for this scene they're referencing is, oh yeah, it wouldn't catch the predator. It would catch whatever animal walked through it the first time. And they don't get that. They did not watch the end of that scene.
They just read the back of the VHS.
So he points out the really scary thing. The predator from the movie Predator, from where he was sitting here based on this blood, he could see right at Willie's sad little cabin. And now he knows to judge us, boys. Now he knows our shame. Cabin. It's just a clear view to the two-holer.
But at this stage, now that you've established that the sun is setting, you're running out of light, they do not have the defenses set up. Like they have driven up the tension because you've established this thing knows where we are. The predator from the hit film Predator, it was standing right here. It's going to pick us off one by one. Go back to the hotel tonight.
Yep, time to get the fuck out of here.
Just
you know what time it is.
Go have dinner at Applebee's. We'll swim in the pool. We'll watch Mission Impossible 4 in the pay-per-view. Then we'll come back tomorrow morning refreshed, and we'll face the horrors then.
Fight.
God, yeah, if you're trying to get time to get the fuck out of here into the drinking game, you're gonna die. It's every scene. It's every scene now.
And it ruins other horror films for you because you watch like a haunted house movie and it's like, you know what? Why don't they just go to a hotel?
Hey, come
you don't
back.
Need to stay there. Why stay in the scary place?
At least come back during the day. That's what they do.
These guys are so much smarter.
So they do leave, and they come back, and here's the plan. They're all going to walk Jeff over to his new friends, and if it looks like his new friends are picking on him, they'll come save him and take him to Pizza Hut. If they just take him back, great. Otherwise, they've got their precious little babies back. So all the boys
I took this to mean that if it wasn't going well, they would kill everybody. Like
they're laying down with their guns.
Pointed
like out. Huckleberry is laying down with his M4 and 30 rounds of 5.56 millimeter, like in his holographic sight. Like, hey, if this goes sour, Jeff, you just go not flat, but like as flat as you
and
can
I'll
go,
shoot
and then
you right in the head. I'm
Jeff
sorry,
the character.
And then them having to explain to the police why they felt it was necessary to kill the, I don't know, 35 people in the survival crew. It took 12 golf carts to haul them around. Remember that? There was 12 vehicles they saw the other night. There's dozens of these guys, and then having to explain to the state cops, like, yeah, this is the rival Bigfoot hunting team. Our guy was trying to do The Departed. Only if, like, the movie The Departed had the Predator from the hit film Predator as a minor character.
Let me stop you there, sir. That sounds completely awesome.
And they were like being real jerks to him, so we just killed them all.
I would love to see that scene unfold where Jeff, like, really confidently, like, oh yeah, what do you think about this? And he raises his hands for a single snap, and then his head explodes because Huckleberry just can't help it. They're like, oh my god, how did he fucking do that? Why did he do that? That was insane.
He did a scanners on himself.
Scanner, boys. We got a self-scanner. They all the boys hide and train their guns on the other team to make sure anything goes wrong, they're going to butcher these guys, blow them to shit. And then they start, cussing at Jeff and shoving him, and they see, like, a clear, visible fist fight. And they're like, don't do a single goddamn thing. They don't do a single they don't have his back at all.
Jeff is real abusive here in a way that's like, it kind of reminds you, when you meet someone and they talk about being bullied as a kid, then you talk to them more and you realize, oh, you were just a dick and everybody hated you. Like, that's what I'm getting here. When Jeff tries to pull off assertive, he's immediately like homophobic slur at this guy, and he's like shoving him, and I'm like, I don't think this is what it means to be assertive. I think when Jeff says he's being bullied, he's just some dick that's like, his new friends don't like him.
See, I thought it was like he has finally got some backup, and he's gone insane from that moderate amount of power because he's never had backup before in his life. And he doesn't realize, of course, that he does not have backup, that they're all here to watch him get beat up by this guy, which is very funny. So Jeff says to the guy, and this is a direct quote, he's doing tough guy. He's doing The Departed. And everybody remembers this classic line from The Departed. The way I see it, you ought to call your boss up and you tell him to get his balls out. And then you can tell me to my face you don't want me working for him anymore. You demand that the boss get his balls out? You want me to call the boss and say, boss, get your balls out. Jeff's get the balls out. Jeff's on the way. I love this show so much. I'm so glad they're doing it with no supervision. It's going to be, every line is going to be like this. So he heads off with them, and the next day we're back at base camp.
What this means is we have reset to like 4 episodes ago.
Yeah, like, no progress. No progress has been made. This was all fucking pointless.
Arguably, no progress has been made since they arrived in the dark forest.
No.
Since season 1, really, when you think about it.
There's only 2 episodes left.
All right, this is my favorite part. The next day, they go back to base camp, and to demonstrate that the electric fence works, they're going to have Buck touch it, because he's the best insulated. Nope, he's the youngest, he's the rookie, he has to test the electric fence. Willie says this is set to 1/4 the juice that it can give. And Buck gives it a little tap, and he gives it a little like, yikes, ooh, dang, which is not really what you want to sell when you're going to combat the Predator from the movie Predator.
The cameraman tried to sell it.
Willie does.
I was going to say that the cameraman, when he touches it, it's badly mistimed, but they try to shake the camera like the whole woods
They
got
make a zap
zapped.
sound.
Yeah.
They put a little zap sound effect in very generously. And Willie proudly says, and that's just 12 volts. You picture we multiply that by 4? I looked it up just because I was like, that doesn't sound right. I looked it up. The manufacturer recommends that for small pets or rodents like squirrels and raccoons, you set it between 700 to 1,000 volts. For sheep and baby cows, we're looking at something in the 2,000 to 3,000 volt range. And if you're trying to keep out full-grown cattle, bears, or the Predator from the movie Predator, it would be more like 5,000 to 7,000 volts.
Maybe he meant
64.
amps.
64 is what Willie goes with.
Amazing.
And then they cut to that night. That's right. That was their entire day.
Yep. Just
All
touching
they
that fence.
did was
Touch the
have
fence.
Jeff have Buck touch the fence. All right, that's a full day's work for the Ames team.
All right, it's a wrap. Let's
Time
get
to
the
go
fuck out
back
of here.
to the hotel.
Time to get the fuck out of here.
It
Take a
should
drink.
take out the predator. I mean, I think that's enough for the day. Unless the predator can climb trees, or cut polycord with his space weapons, or just reach in and unhook it from the car battery, which is just within arm's length. There are a lot of ways the predator could handle it, is my point, I guess. He could probably just walk through it without spilling his glass of water.
Yikes! Ow! Ouchie! Ooh! A little tingle.
What was that? Was that like a electric? What was that? 48 volts?
So, another one of my favorite things happens that night. All right, it's that night. We cut out plenty of scene for everybody. Nobody has heard from Jeff since he went off with his new bullies. They're gonna go to the intersection where Jeff normally meets his crew to see if he's there. Only there's a problem. They see a tree bent over, and that's Bigfoot sign.
Finally, we get a reference to the fact that the Raven Mocker is still out here. So it's going to be so interesting to see how this Bigfoot, this shape-shifting Bigfoot, arguably the most powerful Bigfoot they've ever faced, how it's going to just totally derail everything they're trying to do in these final couple of episodes. Because think of how bizarre it would be to say that's Bigfoot sign and then just have the Bigfoot not show up. Like, imagine if you were watching an episode of, say, Mad Men, and Don Draper saw, like, man, there's been a Bigfoot here. And then they just never came back to it.
I think that happened in The Departed. I think they're still just doing The Departed. There was that part where Leonardo DiCaprio was like, yeah, you guys got a Bigfoot in this restaurant?
You know,
like,
now
yeah,
I
shut
think
up
about
about the Bigfoot, kid.
That actually happened in the movie Predator too. Like, they came out and they went, I think this is Predator sign. And then the Predator was not in the rest of that movie. He was just not in the movie.
Yeah.
Carl
Weathers touched an
trip.
electric fence. It's like, ooh, it's kind of zappy.
So everybody take a deep breath now and hold it for them to bring up that Bigfoot again that they stopped and noticed his Bigfoot sign. Surely that wouldn't be the end of that reference. No, they split up. Willie and Wild Bill head up the road to watch for Jeff, Buck, and Jeff, Buck, and Huckleberry are going to hide nearby and see if somebody comes to check the trip line. So one team's going to watch for the people anybody that's coming, and the other team's going to watch.
You go sit out there, not in a hiding spot. The rogue team is playing by special hide-and-seek rules where they're not allowed to see you.
Yeah, the cameramen are all in the Japanese black uniforms.
Yes.
They're just like, it's only polite, like it's really bad form to acknowledge them. Like, get lost in the art, you guys. So they hear a noise and it's close, too close. And that means it's time to run away. It's time to run away.
Run is really generous. They are running in not quite the single digits, but like high levels of decimal of miles per hour.
They run for about 15 feet, and then Buck says the funniest thing. He says, at least we got a bit of distance. Like, really, I'm not exaggerating. Like, this is not a cut. They don't cut, and they're like, a bunch of time has passed. We follow them for about 15 feet, and then he says, oh, we got some distance. So they hear more cracks in the woods. They start screaming. They start panicking, and they power walk away for another 15 feet, and they're like, oh, that's good. It's only like 15 feet at a time. Huckleberry is certain that this out here is the Predator from the movie Predator, which seems like a weird thing to say when you got Bigfoot sign.
This is what I would love to know, because it was Buck who saw the curled over tree and was trying to bring Bigfoot back into it. Remember, the Predator is Huckleberry's thing, and everybody else has reluctantly gone along with it. But Buck saw Bigfoot sign, and then Buck says, they hear this noise like, it threw a tree at us, which is, you can't imagine the Predator from the film Predator throwing a tree at them any more than you would imagine the Xenomorph throwing a tree at Willie and Wild Bill. Like, that's
so
ludicrous
stupid
to even visualize it. And so, but it's like Huckleberry says, yeah, this is a creature that I faced off against. This is the invisible, but there's no indication of why it wouldn't be the Raven Mocker or the Black Wolf or the Woman of the Woods or the little girl. Or
Bigfoots don't throw trees. That's one thing we've learned from mountain monsters. It has
all
to be
this Predator talk has to wait because Buck got a text telling them to turn on the radio.
The best. I don't want to spoil the ending of this, but there is no need for this radio. You know, right at this moment, whether you watch the show or not, if you can text, you don't need a radio. Like, just you know
can
that
tell him what you heard on the radio. You can just tell him that. If you heard that, if you're like, holy shit, you have to hear what I'm hearing, you can text it to him. That's the problem with, say, getting full cell coverage in the dark forest. Like, maybe you should find a reason that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, they got to get back to that radio, and that means running. And that means Willie and Wild Bill, they got to start running through the woods to get the golf cart.
Hell yes.
So because they don't run. We've got a designated running team.
Wild Bill does almost die running to the golf cart, though.
He gives his little pratfall. I like it. He's got to have one. It's in his contract. He's got to have a little moment. So Willie and Wild Bill get to the radio, and it's saying, we're headed north to the Three Rings, but nobody knows what that is. So Buck and Huckleberry are also hustling down there. They find a trail cam that they assume they triggered, and that means it has a picture of their faces on it. And they for some reason feel they can't allow that. So they take the SD card out of the camera to wipe it, and then dive into cover because two more forest golf carts have haul ass by them, and they're going north. All right, so everything's happening. Everything's going north.
Second time we've dove to cover after seeing some headlights, and I want you to just. I didn't keep track of how many times they do that in this episode and the next episode, but it is at least in the 600s.
I did keep track. I have a running
thank
total
God.
I'm so glad.
Thank God.
I'm so glad.
Headlights, dive, hide is going to become. It's to the point that you're going to wonder why they didn't notice how repetitious.
There's a point where I swear to God they do it 4 times back to back. Where like it's like nesting parentheses. We're diving because of headlights, and then getting up and diving because of headlights into more headlights, and then diving out of those. You're just diving from headlight path to headlight path. It's wild. But right now, the important thing, all the action's going north. So Willie and Wild Bill meet up, and everyone combines intel to come up with a strategy. This gets pretty technical. I'm not sure I understood all of it, so I just wrote down everything that happens here verbatim. This is exactly what everyone says in the order they say it. I didn't cut a single thing out. Willie, on the way over here, we heard him say they was headed north to the Three Rings. Wild Bill, wherever Three Rings is at, north. Buck, got a text from Jeff just a few minutes ago, said, headed north. Willie, well, I'd say we head north. Huckleberry, we don't know what these Three Rings mean, but Jeff said to head north. All these vehicles are headed north. We need to go north. And then they cut to them driving north. Like, how else is this scene gonna end?
They went back and got the radio for half of that.
And I love, again, the implication that this patch of land, if you just say head north, that's going to get you to a specific spot. Again, the Three Rings is not a mile-wide location. They're 10 feet wide. So if you're in the dark forest anywhere, and you say, well, we need to get to the magical Three Rings, and they say, go north. All right. Boom, here they are, right?
Well, they're just right outside of camp. What are the odds? Like, that's crazy. Is this like a miniature golf course? Well, I'm looking around. Yeah, you got a windmill? You got a predator? He's right there. So they get there on the radio. They hear someone say, all right, he's been dropped off at the Three Rings. Everyone clear out now. And they see headlights coming down the one road towards them. So they pull off, kill their own headlights, and run off into the woods to hide. This counts as a headlight dive into cover. Absolutely. They're violating like basic peekaboo rules where like they had their headlights on. So like if you can see their headlights, they can see your headlights.
They would be plainly visible. It's just a narrow lane. They were not more than 20 feet away. They were head to head with this other golf cart.
But no, that through their master subterfuge of pulling slightly off the one road, they get away with it. And the enemy just drives right past him like a bunch of fucking Skyrim guards. Just, must have been the wind. Buck has a bold plan that will require some sacrifice. He says, we gotta leave the side-by-side here and go in on foot.
For stealth.
You know things are serious. You know things are serious where Buck is saying, we gotta go in on foot, you guys. So they see a fire up ahead, and Buck has another bold plan. Willie and Wild Bill, they're gonna go off to one side, while Huckleberry and Buck, they head over to, I guess the same side? No, I think it's the other side. They head over to the other side.
Smart.
Just to see what they're up to. They get closer to it, and they find out the 3 rings are 3 rings.
It's like little wedding arches.
Give credit to their prop work. They did find or make these 3 big wooden rings that look like something.
I want to ask, do you think they made those for the show, or do you think, as Sean speculated just now, that was somebody's wedding shoot? Because it's just grapevines. It's like wedding decorations. It's just a big, like 10 or 12 feet tall. They're going to describe them as being enormous, but they're...
Huckleberry says each one is 20 foot tall, and then they show Jeff like reaching up and touching the top of one, like immediately. The second he finishes saying each one is 20 foot tall, Jeff reaches up and touches the top of one, as if to say,
we don't know that Jeff didn't
feet.
Get hit with a grow beam. We don't know the powers this new team possesses.
So...
They're doing a Departed and a Reverse Honey, I Shrunk the Jeff.
So anyway, I spoiled it a little bit, but the person there, a torch is approaching, and it's Jeff in full cool guy spy mode again, with his blown straight hair, his bearded ponytail, wearing his overalls, and nothing else.
It's sex,
He's
Jeff.
stripped fully nude under the overalls for some reason, as if to say, I went off with these guys for 24 hours. Now I'm coming back clearly without most of my clothes. He's walking through the rings and lighting the torches in order like it's a ritual. He's opening the fire temple or something. Whatever. This is like, clearly this is how you activate the 3 rings. And then he gets like a Sam Raimi crazy cam zoom on his face, is just to be like, what a sicko Jeff is doing the ring ritual. Oh my God. And like, this is the end of the episode. And right here, I know I've been burned so many times before, but I'm calling it. They're going to do a Hillbilly Stargate. It's Hillbilly Stargate all the way. They're going to render like CGI liquid coming back, and he's going to walk through into like Hillbilly Egypt or something. Oh, I'm so excited. Anyway, that's how we end the episode.
Yeah, it cuts to black. These episodes, they end on cliffhangers now.
Mm-hmm. So it's time for our favorite quote of the episode. I'm going to go first. I did call my shot. I'm sticking with it. It's when Willie says, Huckleberry looks like he just got done fighting a bunch of pigs. Not beating that for me. Jason.
When Huckleberry explains to Willie that the Predator from the hit film Predator has been stalking their camp and in fact was standing right out there just minutes ago watching them work, Willie says, it's just one thing after another.
First I couldn't get all the car batteries hooked up. Now it's the Predator from the movie Predator.
Gosh darn it. I think my favorite quote was, we talked about it. Huckleberry said it. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but I know if it bleeds. I know it bleeds because I drawed blood on it. Okay, that was the start. I liked that a lot. But then I also liked when he pulled out a sack of chewing gum and he said, this stuff will turn you into a sensual triceratops similar to myself. And then Willie enters and he says, what's the problem? NSA got you shoving too many pens? And then they kiss real hard to see who has the strongest mouth.
Because you have to be a Bigfoot feature. You have to open up your mouth. You have to be a Bigfoot feature. All your friends are so knocked out. You had to have the last word last night. You know what everything's about. You had to have the white hot spotlight. You had to be a Bigfoot last man. Whoa, whoa.